So you're just excited to share about?
I'm having one right now. The idea, however, is I will share this with you. I, along with many others, am in the process right now of engaging with another society that is about to join our association of worlds, our interstellar alliance. The interactions with these beings have been going on for what you would probably call about 10 years of your time. And now they are, as you say, ready and in a state by which they can become members of this alliance. They have had many changes upon their world that allow them to move in this direction that they made by choice. And one thing that is very exciting for myself personally and for our civilization is the ability to experience their society in the way that they have presented themselves, which is a relatively unique kind of expression. They act out, every member of their society acts out stories constantly as their way of communicating ideas. So every being on their planet, in a sense, is an actor. And they create interactions to express what they wish to communicate. They create, in a sense, mini plays. Do you understand?
Yes.
And by acting out these mini plays, they convey, in general terms, the ideas that they wish to share with others. So while the plays on your planet are usually confined to the idea of a theater, so to speak, if there is anything that anyone really wishes to communicate, they will actually set it up in such a way as to allow those that they wish to receive the information to actually experience the transfer of the information as if it were the telling of a story, as if it were the acting out of a play.
I understand.
So even in what you would call a business meeting, it would actually be that a story would be told that contains all the elements they wish to convey about the idea of the process they are going through, and the idea of all the possible outcomes that could occur, of course, with the emphasis on the one that serves everyone the best, in terms of what you would call win-win scenarios. You follow me?
Yes.
And then there is, in that sense, another play that is created to experience alternative ideas that may be what you would call then the idea of negotiating the reality, so that eventually, through all of the storytelling and play acting, there is ultimately arrived at a negotiated reality experience that is then also played out, perhaps for members of the family or friends, to demonstrate the ultimate outcome or result of all the different play acting and storytelling in the back and forth exchange between the different parties. A very interesting and exciting civilization.
Sounds like it.
Yes.
I would like to know if a few of these biblical figures and characters as portrayed in the Bible are in fact real people that have such as Moses, Abraham,
Yes.
Solomon,
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes. They were real historical people, if that's what you're asking.
As portrayed in the Bible?
Not completely. Some of it is metaphorical. Some of it is literal. Some of it is an analogy. Some of it is misremembered. Some of it is misinterpreted.
Okay.
Depends on what you are specifically referring to.
For example, did Solomon's temple actually exist?
Yes, it did. And in fact, it actually partly still does. There are still ruins and remnants of the temple that exist.
But you wouldn't actually say Jesus is a prophet or the Son of God.
You are all children of God,
Right, okay.
as are we. And the idea of what Jesus was talking about, or in his own language actually, Yeshua, was the idea that you are all Christs. Mm-hmm. He wasn't looking for followers. He wasn't looking for Christians. He was saying that you are all equal to him. That, in that sense, you are all Christs. You are all children of God. And the phrase, I am the way, simply means, be the way I am. Be like me. And you will be in alignment with your full, true, total self in a relationship with creation.
But for example, when Moses was on the mountain and he received the Ten Commandments from God, what do they refer
not
to
exactly
when they say...
from what you in your religious sects call God.
Right.
This was actually a communication with extra-dimensional beings.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Bashar, you mentioned...
Yes.
Bashar, you mentioned that you should always act on your highest excitement.
Well, not should. I am suggesting that you might be willing to, that you might prefer it. I will never tell you what you should or shouldn't do.
Okay.
It's up to you. If you wish to not act on your highest excitement, I'm not going to stop you.
What if your highest excitement is to hurt someone else?
That's not excitement. You have to know the difference. You have to have a clear definition of what excitement is. So when someone says, my excitement is to hurt others, they actually don't have a definition or an understanding of what excitement actually is. Because the only way you would want to do that is out of anxiety and fear. Because if you truly are acting on your excitement and truly in line with a definition that is appropriate of excitement, you will know that you will be self-empowered. And if you're self-empowered, why would you need in any way, shape, or form to hurt anyone else? You understand? It's a contradictory definition. You have to have a clear definition and an understanding of what excitement is, and when you do, you will know that the concept of hurting someone else does not fall under that definition.
Please define your definition of excitement.
It is always a positive thing that allows you to know that you're fully self-empowered and capable of creating and co-creating a reality experience that is always beneficial for you and all concerned. Because remember, as we have said, the greatest power requires the gentlest touch. If you have to intervene or force yourself on someone else, then what that's actually an indication of is you don't actually believe in your own power. Because if you believed in your own power, if you knew you were powerful enough to create the reality that you prefer, why would you need in any way, shape, or form to interfere with anyone else's process? You understand?
Understand.
So you have to have a clear definition of what excitement is, and it's always self-empowering, and it's always that which is best for all concerned, not just yourself.
Understood.
All right. Yes.
Can I have your opinion and understanding about Freemasonry?
Well, that's a large subject.
It is a large subject.
Is there something specific you wish to discuss?
Where did it start?
Essentially, it started with the idea of the organization you call the Knights Templar. You understand this?
Yes.
Reference?
Yes.
The idea is that in their time, they discovered certain things, certain ideas. Now, really, some of the ideas are very, very ancient and existed way before the Knights Templar. But you ask the question in terms of where the organization of Freemasonry began. And thus then, in that form, it began with the Knights Templar, even though the information that the Knights Templar found out about was very ancient information that preceded them by thousands of years. You understand?
I do. And the information is nothing particularly to be negative, it's how you view it.
Well, yes, of course. And much of what you now understand to be the kind of metaphysical knowledge that we are discussing today is actually what they discovered that was not very well known in your world back then. So a lot of the so-called secrets of Freemasonry and secrets of the Knights Templar and secrets of the mystery schools of Atlantis are all about the metaphysical understanding of how reality works and how you manifest and attract the reality that you prefer. That's really all that information was about. In fact, that's exactly what Jesus was teaching, Buddha was teaching, Krishna was teaching. It's really all the same metaphysical information. It just wasn't really known by the masses. And so because it involved the understanding of how to really use your self-empowerment, it was framed in a way and taught in a way that made it seem to be a very big secret. Because in many cases there would be a great deal of misunderstanding by the general public, and so it was thought that the only way to really preserve the information clearly and cleanly was to pass it down through the mystery schools of those organizations so that it wouldn't be corrupted. You understand?
Perfect, I do.
All right.
Will you be more in tune or standing with a higher frequency or vibration if you are a vegan or vegetarian?
It can work that way, but it again depends upon the person. There are many people who are not vegan or vegetarian who have very high vibrations. It just depends upon what you're exploring and how you explore it and how you align with things. It is possible, and maybe even generally true, for many people on your planet that a lighter diet may be more conducive to a higher frequency of energy. But that isn't always the case. So it really depends on a case-by-case basis.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Yes.
It is wise to follow your own instincts, your own body consciousness, your own highest excitement, and what seems natural for you. But again, do remember that even Jesus ate fish. Yes?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So the idea really is what you do with it, what the relationships you form with the food, what your understanding is of gratitude for having received what the animal has given to you as a gift to support you. It depends on the relationship. Many indigenous tribes have very, very beneficial relationships with the animals that they eat. And thus it doesn't in any way, shape, or form reduce their vibration. You understand?
I do.
So really, there is a general understanding that as you raise your vibration, it may be that you will feel less need or less urge to consume heavier sustenance, so to speak, but just let that occur naturally. And if you feel the urge to simply be vegan or vegetarian, then by all means act on it and see what happens. If, however, at any point in that process you suddenly feel the need to have some form of protein sustenance that is not vegetarian, trust your body consciousness that it knows what it's doing. You may not need very much, but it may be required for a minimal amount of balancing in a certain way that you may not be acquiring through the vegan diet. But again, it will depend upon your individual frequency as to what works best for you.
Understood.
There's no need to force yourself to be more spiritual. That's a contradiction. Does that make sense?
It does.
Oh.
It does. I just have a few questions. I guess we'll start with one.
Oh, right. That would be a good idea.
Yeah. In this physical reality of existence, is there free will?
Yes. But there is a combination of what you call free will and destiny. It works hand in hand in the following way. When you are a spirit, you generally lay out the idea for a life, the theme of exploration for a life, the things that you wish to learn, to grow from, to experience in general terms, sometimes specific, but overall a general theme or several themes that you desire to explore in the physical incarnation. You could say that that particular theme overall, or series of themes, is the destiny set by the soul. But when you are physically incarnated and have a physical mind, a personality, you are allowed to exercise your free will about exactly how you go about exploring those themes. So you are free to do a number of different things, approach it from a number of different perspectives, experience it from a number of different ways or paths. The idea is like saying that the soul sets up the hallway you will walk down, but the free will of the physical mind to determine how it will experience or walk down that hallway. It can run, it can skip, it can go backwards, forwards, upside down, side to side, crawl, you understand? So free will works in hand with the idea of destiny. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but
Yes.
if you can't change the past, how can that determine?
You do change the past.
How?
Change it all the time. Anytime you redefine who you are as a person, you actually create, in a sense, or shift to what you would call a different timeline. Thus, what you supposedly remember as your past will simply be relevant for the person you're defining yourself to be in the present. You may not even know that your past has changed, because it will seem like the past that has always been there relative to the person you are now. But it always changes. The past is the result of the present, not the other way around. Does that make sense?
Okay, I understand that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Pay attention to your emotions, Pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to your behaviors, because your behaviors, your thoughts, and your emotions are always the result of something you believe to be true. So when you engage in any kind of action whatsoever, pay attention to what you're truly feeling. If you're honest with yourself, and it is truly being done out of integrity, out of alignment with your true self, then you will know that the feeling you're feeling is not excitement, but anxiety. And when you know it's anxiety, and you're doing it out of anxiety, or to fill the idea of an emptiness within you, then you know you're doing it for a negative reason. Find out what the negative belief is that would generate those feelings, and change it, and let go of it. And then you will find that you don't have those intentions, you don't have those feelings. And you will be now acting on things only in a positive and an aligned way. It's that simple. You just have to have the willingness to explore yourself honestly, so that you can truly admit and own and acknowledge when you do have a negative idea, a negative feeling, and not gloss it over and cover it up and pretend that it's not there. There is nothing to fear about facing those things. You will only discover more of yourself in the exploration. The unknown only contains more of yourself. That's all it can contain. So there is no reason to fear exploring the unknown, or exploring a negative belief that you might have as to why you have it. Exploring it and discovering it and having a conscious realization that you have it is what frees you to change it. If you push it down and push it away or ignore it or bury it, then it will only come back stronger next time, and it will be even more difficult to deal with. So it is the path of least resistance, as soon as you feel anything out of alignment, to deal with it and find out why it's there. And it will always come down to something that you have been taught to believe is true over something else. Decide what's true for you, really true for you, on your definitional level. And when you do that, then you'll be in alignment with yourself, and you will experience your life that way, and give everything that happens in your life a positive meaning if you want to experience a positive effect. If you give things negative meaning, the only effect you can get is a negative one, because everything is neutral, and only the meaning you give it determines the outcome and the effect that you experience. And I don't mean the way it looks, I mean the way it is experienced by you. Because the idea and the proof of change is not that the outer world has changed, it's that you respond differently to it even if it looks the same. That's the proof of change. And when you truly have changed, then the outer reflection can change, but not because it has to. Because you wouldn't care whether it changed or not if you were truly generating your own positive state. Because it wouldn't matter what would happen. You would know that no matter what happens, you will only get a positive effect in your life, regardless of what anyone else is getting out of it. And by acting as that positive example to others, you can show them that they can also choose to only experience positive effects in their life, should they so desire to, not that they have to. All that makes sense?
Yes.
All right.
Bashar,
Yes.
can you tell me about masturbation?
What about it?
Good question.
Perhaps you will have to refer to masturbates to ask that question.
Is it a positive thing or a negative thing?
Do you understand the idea that anything and everything can serve both functions? Everything is fundamentally neutral. So the idea is that any act can serve either a positive or a negative effect. It depends on how it's used. It depends upon the intention behind it. It depends upon the alignment of energy in which the act is done, or the lack of alignment in which the act is done. Every circumstance can serve positive or negative results.
If it's based on your highest excitement at the time.
Well, then you know the answer, yes?
Yes, okay.
But the idea is to pay attention and have the discernment as to why it is actually being done. And I mean anything, not just the example you provided.
But the concept and idea of preserving the semen in your body
Yes.
and not releasing it
Yes.
give you more powers or energy or...
It depends on how you use it.
It depends on how I use it.
Yes.
But if I release it and I can still sustain that capacity of energy...
Have you ever gone to the gym?
Yes.
Have you ever run?
Yes.
Have you ever sweated?
Yes.
Well, you released a lot of water from your body. Didn't you need it?
Yeah.
Did it reduce your power?
For temporary.
And then what did you do?
Regenerated.
Thank you. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
All right, then there you go. You sweated it out for what you believed was a positive action, yes?
Yes.
You got positive benefits out of losing all that moisture from your body, yes?
Yes.
So you have to pay attention to the intention behind the act. If it is truly your excitement, then by definition it cannot harm you. The duty that you have is to be honest enough with yourself as to whether the intention behind it actually is positive or negative. Because many of you have the capacity to fool yourselves and think that you're doing something exciting when in fact it's not representative of your excitement. And vice versa.
So how do you know for sure?
You have to have honesty and willingness to explore and be honest with yourself about the motivations behind what you choose to do.
I see.
And if you are that honest and that willing, you'll figure it out.
I see.
Would you be able to tell me anything about the man that was known as Osho?
Define.
Osho Rajneesh?
Oh, all right. What do you wish to know?
Just if there's anything you can tell me that was why, like around his, the meaning he was here on Earth.
The meaning?
Because it seemed like...
The meaning was to experience the life that he experiences. The idea is to act as a reflection for those that need to look at things from a certain perspective.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Remember that any tool, any technique, any ritual, and any form of delivering information is nothing more than a permission slip that will attract those that require that permission slip to trigger themselves to be more of who they are. So different people will do it in different ways and present themselves in different ways that will be representative of a certain frequency and vibration that works for certain people. Doesn't mean it has to work for everyone. Even the information we deliver, we know, will not work for everyone. But the idea is that we represent the information along a certain frequency domain, and that frequency domain is something that many people will gravitate towards and utilize because they are of a similar frequency. Yes?
Okay.
So any such teacher, any such master, any such reflection is for the purpose of making sure that all the different belief systems that exist on your planet are accounted for and at least given an opportunity to find the information that is needed in the way that works best for them.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yes.
All right.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Would you be able to tell me anything about this whole thing? There's some whole thing on the internet about the reevaluation of currencies around the world.
Well, eventually, you will find that your monetary system on your planet will change. It may not do so right away, but the idea is that you are already exploring the idea of how you can create a different form of exchange on your planet because you recognize that many of the old systems are no longer really viable for the way that you prefer things to be. It will exist for a while, but eventually, many years to come, you will find that your so-called medium of exchange will actually be the skills and abilities and gifts that people themselves have to give, have to share. This is the ultimate form of the exchange that will occur on your world eventually. But for a while you will experiment with and explore different ways of valuating and different ways of creating what you call credit and so on and so forth, until such time as you realize that the only true value that exists in your world that is not arbitrary is the abilities and skills that you each have to give to one another. Yes?
Okay.
The idea of truly going forward with a true revamping of your modalities of exchange on your planet will also require the dissolving of many of your political, sociological, religious borders and ideas. And so as those all begin to change, everything will change together. One thing will inform another, and other things will inform this, and things will change, and this will change a little, and this will change a little, until you have a holistic system that works for you globally, eventually. Yes?
The idea of selling your soul, does
Yes.
that actually exist?
Not literally in the way that you mean.
No.
But the idea is to simply compromise your integrity and be out of alignment with your true vibration. That's really all it means, is to not be true to yourself.
Okay, gotcha.